welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to look at testing the oil mill here on Elm Creek with me, Farmer Murphy. So let's start by taking a look at the crop calendar. You can see that normally with seasonal growth on, the crop cycle for canola is 11 months. Now we're going to go and turn that off so that we can, we're not bound by when we can plant. And I think we'll find that with seasonal growth off, that is going to shorten it up a little bit. It's not going to totally go away. At least that was the case before all the updates. I can't remember with canola. I know corn knocked it down to about 6 months. So, anyways, we'll take a look at that. The other thing we want to look at is the prices. If we look, canola peaks in December and January, and as luck would have it, so does canola oil. So I'll record those prices as we advance through in December and January. FS22 has got a few more variables in it than FS19 did. So what we're going to do is we've got a field here fully prepared. We're going to put canola in it. We'll take the yield off and we'll throw it into the oil mill. And one of the big determining factors, whether it's going to be profitable or not, or more profitable, is will the oil mill process all of that canola in the time it takes to reseed and get another crop off of here. And of course, another factor in that will be how much oil do we get out for the canola we put in. So we'll look at that. And of course, this is field 41 here on Elm Creek. Field size will have play a big part in that because everything is based on months. It seems in FS22, so it'll do so much canola a month. I'm certain that you can make a big enough field that the oil mill couldn't keep up. But if we base it on this, and if you have a field twice the size, it should, be able to ratio it out. But the first thing we better do is go and turn seasonal growth off. So we'll be able to seed. Oh, and we need to change our crop type here. So we'll go ahead and get the... Oh, come on. Fat fingers again. Sorry about that. I have weeds turned off, so we don't have to worry about those. So I'll go ahead and get this canola in the field, and I'll catch up with you in a minute. Okay, so there we have our field of canola, and with a 100% yield bonus on it. So all we need to do now is skip through time until we're ready to harvest. So I will do that, and I'll catch up with you at harvest time. All right, folks, here we are. We are in March, and our canola now is ready to harvest. So that was 8 months versus 11 with seasonal growth, so it is still a little bit shorter. But, you just still need to wait some time. You can see that we are 100% yield bonus, so I've got our harvester set up here. So we'll go ahead and get this harvested, and we'll see what we get for a yield. Oh, I worked out the prices. I recorded the prices the 2 best months for both the oil and canola. And of those 2 months, I threw out the top price, I threw out the bottom, and then averaged the rest together. So our canola was at $12.93 average, and the oil was $34.82. That's per 1,000 liters. So those are the prices we'll go with. So that's kind of like the average of our best prices of the 2 months. And I'll try and remember to throw that up, those numbers up on screen when I edit it. So we'll go ahead and get this harvested, and we'll see what we get for yield. So I'll catch up with you when that's done. Okay, here we are at our oil mill. The field's completely harvested, and we got 22,553 liters of canola off that field. If we were to sell that at our average best price of $12.93 per thousand liters, we would earn $29,161. Or an easy thing to remember would be we would have to go through 5.2 crop rotations, so plant and harvest just a little over 5 times to pay for the field. Now, that does not include the cost of seed, fertilizer, that sort of thing, but that's how many rotations we would need just to pay for the field. So let's unload our canola in here. Oh, come on. Why is it not? Oh, there it goes. Just seemed to take it a while. So we've got it on storing. I'm going to store it because if you sell it automatically, it just takes the average of the price on the map and deducts delivery charge. So what we wanted to know is just how much canola oil we're going to get. So I will activate that. I'll move my truck out of the way here. Okay, so I'll do the same thing again. I'll advance through the months and we'll see how long it takes for it to process all that canola oil and what it's worth. So when we get to that point, I'll bring you back in. Now for the moment of truth. If we count here, we have 11 full pallets plus 276 liters still in our plant. It took 2.4 months for the plant to process that. If we were to sell that on at our best average price, we would earn $38,669. So, what's that all mean? If you recall, it would take 5.2 crop rotations to pay for the field just selling our canola on. If we were to take and convert it all to oil, and if we factor in the cost of the plant, it would actually take 6 crop rotations to pay for the field and the plant. Now, on the face of that, you say, well, maybe it's not worth it. But if we look at it another way, if we look at just the plant itself, it would take, if it was running at full capacity, 5 months or 46,000 or 47,000 liters if you rounded it to pay for itself. So on a field that was twice the size of the one we're looking for, it would then actually, you would end up paying off the field and the plant faster, if that makes sense. So it actually is worth it. You actually end up getting 33% more for your canola. It's just the fact of the size of the field we're dealing with here. It would take slightly longer to hit the break-even point. But on a larger field, because the plant processes so fast, you would hit that break-even point much quicker. So hopefully that makes sense. So the short answer is yes, it's definitely worth it. Even on a field like this, once you're only talking one extra crop rotation is paid for, you will be making more money after that, if that all makes sense. All right, so I'm going to repeat this test with sunflower. What I will do is I will just bring you back in when the harvest is complete in the interest of saving time, and we'll just look at the same numbers in comparison. So I'll catch up with you in a minute. All right, welcome back. I finished harvesting that field, and we ended up with 20,223 liters of sunflower. With the information from the 2 harvests we've done already, information I found at the Farming Simulator Academy on the Giants webpage, and information I found in the factory itself that I now understand, I was able to calculate the break-even point without having to do any more harvesting. So first, let's take a look at the factory here. So, oh, and one thing I should mention, this was all done at normal economy, okay? This would be, if you're doing hard or easy, you'd have to take that into account. But sunflower oil, if we look at that, cycles per month, what that means is that it's going to create 4,800 liters of sunflower oil every month. And the recipe is it takes 2 liters of sunflowers to make 1 liter of oil. So in other words, if we give the factory 9,600 liters of sunflower, in 1 month, it'll give us 4,800 liters of oil. And that's irrespective of how long or how many days per month you have your games set to. It is per month. Okay, canola, same, exactly 4,800. Olive oil is 2,400 liters of oil per month. So it obviously takes a little longer to process, but they all take 2 liters of crop for 1 liter of oil. Okay, now you may have already understood that, but that wasn't clear to me until I did this test. Now the other thing, just to remind you, like I said, normal economy, and what I did is I used as a basis for break even is a number of rotations, crop rotations it took to pay for the field. Okay, because I figure, like, this is field 41, it cost $150,000. If you bought a field twice this size, it had twice the arable land, you get twice the crop, that payback time would still be the same. It should be relatively constant. Now, of course, if you buy a field or a plot of land that has a bunch of forestry on it as well, you may cost you twice as much money, but you may not get twice the arable land. You just have to kind of factor that in. But just so we understand what the basis is. So, first of all, there's be some numbers coming up here. Obviously, we expected our crop to be worth more when we turned it to oil, and indeed it is. And I did the calculation how much more you get for the oil versus the crop. And for canola, it's 33% more for the oil. Sunflower, 28% more for the oil. But olives, a whopping 96% more for the oil. Okay, so we definitely get more money turning the crop into oil. But now if we look at the payback time, okay, that's what we're looking at here. For the canola, it takes 5 crop rotations just to pay for the field. In brackets, the 6 there, that is the number of crop rotations if you include the factory. So the 5 is just selling the crop on, not turning it to oil. The 6 is if we buy the factory and turn the canola into oil, it's actually going to take us a little longer to pay for the factory and the field. So again, for sunflower, it's the same thing. For sunflower, it takes 3 crop rotations just selling the crop on, 3.6 if we turn it to oil. So actually in that 4th harvest, you're going to have some pure profit in there. For olive, you can see that it's 2 full rotations to pay for the field just selling the olives on, but 1.6, or that second one, is almost half of its pure profit, that second harvest. Okay, so for a field this size, if you're running just canola and just one field, the factory isn't going to help you get to a pure profit point any quicker. The only place on a field this size would be olive oil. Now, if we were to take, it actually takes 2 harvests to pay for the factory if we're doing canola, 1 1/4 if we're doing sunflower, but only half a crop if we're doing olives. So what that means is if we were to buy a field twice this size, and that's all we ran through our factory in canola, then we would start to bring down that field price or pay for the field quicker, or 25% larger for sunflower. But olive oil on a field this size, we start bringing it down right away. So if you're thinking it's going to be the road to riches and you have just small fields, it's really not going to help you unless one of those small fields happens to be olives. But on the larger fields, it really is going to help pay for the larger fields because you're going to pay for the factory, in one or less harvest, and then that oil really kicks in and helps bring it down. So I hope that makes sense. So factory's definitely worth it. And of course, I obviously, if you're running olives, sunflower, and canola all at the same time and running them through your factory, you're going to see the benefits much quicker. If anybody is interested in some of the detailed calculations, I did put all this in the spreadsheet and I have it all. If you leave something in the comments, definitely share it with you. Um, if you want to get down the weeds, but I was just trying to keep it simple and kind of get to the point. So, anyways, if you're still with me, really appreciate it. Thanks for watching. If you found it useful, I encourage you to hit the like button. And if you're interested in more test videos like this and want to see when they land, I encourage you to hit subscribe and the notification bell. And then you will be kept up to date with what's going on the channel. But anyways, until next time, this is Farmer Murphy signing out.